In the course of discussing antinatalism, which is the belief that humans should stop breeding and disappear from the face of the planet, a lot of folks have asked me, Jim, if life is so bad, then why don't you just kill yourself? Get it over with already. Ah, if only things were that simple. But the fact of the matter is, there are many profoundly unhappy people living among us. People who have opted to stick in there even though their every waking hour is filled with pain, depression, anxiety, terror, and all those other factors which serve to make an unhappy life. Why do they do it? Why do I do it? Let me see if I can explain. The human psyche is a cauldron of competing desires, hopes, and fears. Every day we're forced to choose between options. For instance, I go to work each day, though I don't particularly feel like rolling out of bed in the morning. Why don't I choose to sleep in then? Because that particular choice carries with it certain negative consequences having to do with eating and keeping a roof over my head, which in turn support things I enjoy, or at least find necessary for my relative well-being. Access to things like comfort, security, safety, and entertainment all play a role in my decision to keep working despite my distaste for it. And so it is with life. Yes, suicide is an option, but there are several obstacles between where I am now and that most final of all decisions. For one thing, there are people I love who would be harmed by my suicide. I have duties to people that I'm just not willing to renege on, duties which I take seriously. And though I don't always feel this way, I'll admit that, in a very ironic sense, I am trapped by the very things I love most about life. I've met several people during my life's journey who felt exactly the same way, who would choose to end it all if not for the harms and burdens that ending would place on their families. I understand their feelings only too well. Furthermore, I think suicide requires an utter desperation that I haven't quite reached, though I've come close on a number of occasions. The ability to commit mortal harm to oneself runs contrary to a deeply embedded survival instinct that all of us have. Due to this fact, I'm actually surprised there are as many suicides and suicide attempts as there are around the world. Many see suicide as an act of cowardice, but I interpret this reaction as anger towards anyone who would dare call into question the prevailing myth that life is good and automatically to be cherished. Or in other words, misery loves company. So, is this a call to suicide then? Not at all. Live your life. Find happiness wherever you may. And if you are already bursting with joy, spread it around as you can. But never be blind to the dark side of life, nor to the fact that millions leave each day in agony, both physical and mental, where sleep is their only refuge. Most importantly, be aware that each newborn life enters a world of uncertainty, where anything can happen, including the very, very bad. And of course, everyone suffers to some extent, and everybody dies. Shall I say that again? Everybody dies. Every birth certificate is also a certificate of death in the waiting. Take a moment to seriously consider this. That child you hold in your arms is bound for sickness and the grave. Its death is a choice you made when you chose to conceive, because you knew this was the way things would end. All of us know. Please, don't have children. Be well.